Good morning, everybody. This is Dan Spots on behalf of the Dalles Area Chamber. Welcome to Chamber Community Affairs. Today is Thursday, March 5th, I believe. Yes, and the year is 2026. It's amazing we're into March already. Our guest this morning is Jake Anderson, Economic Development Officer with the City of the Dalles, and I really appreciate Jake stepping into this presentation on very short notice. He put together a slide deck for us talking about Columbia Gateway urban renewal, some of the projects taking place in downtown the Dalles, the long anticipated reconstruction of First Street, Federal Street Plaza, some of the other initiatives, downtown projects taking place through urban renewal, and some of the incentive programs available for downtown businesses. So it's a cool presentation. But before we get started in that, let's go ahead and go around the room and we'll do some brief introductions. Organizational updates are always welcome. And remember to put contact information, event information in the chat box. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get started at my upper left-hand corner with Trish Neal. Trish, go ahead.
Good morning. I'm Trish Neal with Legal Shield, longtime chamber member. And I will put my information in the chat if you want to contact me. And I'm also going to drop in on the very last original Wasco County Courthouse February forum.
Thank you for doing that, Trish. And Scott McKay.
Good morning, everyone. Scott McKay, volunteer for Circles of Care, and also a member of the Wasco County Dementia-Friendly Wasco County Partnership. And currently, one of the major things we're working on, thanks to the Mid-Columbia Senior Center, is the Cherry Blossom Respite Program, which is on Wednesdays from 1 to 5 at the Senior Center. And it's for caregivers who are caring for someone who's living with dementia and would like a break during the week. Caring for someone with dementia is many times a 24/7 type of responsibility, and it's always nice to have a break. So if you know anyone, I don't know the contact number for Danette, but you can call the Mid-Columbia Senior Center and they will direct you to the right person, or you can just drop by on Wednesdays from 1 to 5 downstairs at the Mid-Columbia Senior Center. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. And go ahead if you put that reminder in the chat box too, Scott. Good reminder. Mr. Roger Nichols.
Oh, thank you much. My affiliations include the original Wasco County Courthouse and the Discovery Center, but I really appreciate Trish putting in the information because we have 35 days in February this year because the original Wasco County Courthouse is holding a fifth member. That's this Saturday, and it is Bob Pollock of the Fort Dalles Museum, and his fascinating story about the Grand Army of the Republic, which was the outfit for veterans of the Union Army. It met in the Dalles several times with big consequences. So I'm going to have to take off after this, but thank you very much. And I do also say that I enjoyed meeting Jake several years ago when he was one of the Klickitat County Commissioners, and we're very lucky to have him with us. Thank you much.
Indeed we are. And thank you, Roger. Corliss Marsh.
Good morning, everyone. Corliss Marsh here with Habitat for Humanity and the library and the Senior Center. No updates this week.
All right. Thank you, Corliss. Philip Mosher.
Morning, Philip Mosher with Sotheby's International Realty. I just put something in the chat box about the Dalles Hoot happening this weekend. This is the first year for the Dalles Hoot. It's a fantastic multi-venue music festival. Lots of different acts in 4 different locations. Everything is free. However, and I put the link in there for you to go see the program. What's important to note is that if you want to go to any of the events, you do have to pre-register to allow the venues to follow their occupancy requirements. We do expect quite a lot of people showing up to these events. So check out the program. There's a lot of really cool stuff going on all over town this weekend. It's happening at Wines on Second, the Granada, the historic Herbring House, and I think it's a fourth location too that escapes me right now. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Through the Dalles Overground.
Yes,
Good.
to the Dalles Overground. That's
New
exactly right.
organization, and really, really neat seeing that happening here in town. Thank you for that reminder, Philip. Good information. Leslie Naramore.
Morning, everyone. I'm Leslie Naramore. I'm the Executive Director of Mid-Columbia Community Action Council, which is the community action agency for all of Hood River, Wasco, and Sherman counties. And I wanted to share this morning about an event that's coming up at the Fort Dalles Readiness Center. It's the Legacy Giving event, and it's free. Everyone is invited. It will be catered, and it's all about estate planning and how important that is, not only for your family, but for your community. And my favorite thing about this event is I think that it really showcases how all of our nonprofits in the Gorge really work together and support and celebrate each other. So that's happening Thursday, March 19th from 5:30 to 7:30, and I will drop a poster for that in the chat. Thank you.
I had not heard about that, Leslie. That's good information. Thank you. Good to know. Linda Kentrow.
Hello, yes, I'm a member of Protect Oregon's Progress, an indivisible group, and a volunteer with AARP's tax aid, and no updates from me.
Okay. Thank you, Linda. Julie Reynolds.
Good morning. I'm Julie Reynolds. I have an update about the chapel in historic St. Paul's Chapel. And thank you, Philip, for mentioning the Hoot, because we've been asked to be on the historic tour. Apparently, I don't know all about it, but people are going to be invited to walk around downtown and look at some of the various historic sites. So St. Paul's Chapel will be hosting a tour at 3 o'clock on Saturday as part of the Hoot. That's all.
Julie, a really neat presentation at the chapel here. What was it, last week now? No, Monday evening, musical event, Mike Ballinger. And
thank you. I wasn't able to go to it, but they're going to come back. It was, I think Gretchen said there were maybe 50 people there singing in the chapel.
Yeah, it was fabulous.
Community sing. Great. Thanks,
really
everybody,
awesome.
for coming.
And Tanya Bromley.
Good morning, Tanya Bromley with Northwest Natural. I don't have any updates today. Just enjoy the weekend with all the activities.
Thank you, Tanya. We have Megan joining us.
Megan Thompson, Cascade Cherry Growers. Good morning.
Good morning, Megan. Any updates?
Nope.
Right.
Spring is here.
Okay. Keep up the good work. Tanya Lindsay. Tanya, are you there?
Hello, yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I can actually turn my camera on here too now that I'm a little bit settled. We are chamber members. We are High Street Insurance. I'm a personal lines insurance agent, and my goal this year is to be more involved in the community. So I'm wanted to pop on here and see what it's all about.
Thank you for joining us, Tanya, and welcome to Community Affairs. Always welcome to join
absolutely.
You. There you are. Nice to meet you virtually.
Yeah, you too.
And with excuse me. And with that, I don't believe that I've missed anybody. So I'm going to turn this over to our guest this morning, Jake Anderson, Economic Development Officer with the City of the Dalles. Jake, I have your slides on backup. You have screen share. So take it away.
All right. Can everybody see the screen?
They're coming in fine, Jake.
All right. Good morning, everyone. This is Jacob Anderson. I am the Economic Development Officer for the City of the Dalles. Did anyone see that sunrise this morning? If you didn't, I'll have a picture of it at the end, so you're going to have to wait.
Yes, I did. It was awesome.
It was amazing. So first, we're going to talk about First Street. First Street is a $7 million urban renewal project. Urban renewal is paying for it, but the city is doing it. And as you all know, First Street is now shut down. If you can see my mouse on the screen, Union Street is still open currently because we're doing the West Side Interceptors project. But at some point, the Union Street crossing here is going to be shut down, and so we'll have to get come through the second street or first street, I mean, to get to the dock and the park. So we've got a lot of things going downtown this summer. So with First Street being shut down and all that parking along there, we have two parking lots still available. So the one where my mouse is right now, that's reserved for the Commodore. So that one's not open, but we do have this First Street sunken lot here, as well as the large lot here that we've got. We tore out some of the medians so that you could still get in and park there. And so there's still parking that's there available. We have the laydown yard on this parking lot here, and that's for the First Street project. So right now they are gearing up. They're going to be starting this next week demoing the sidewalks. And then we also have going on at the same time a $5 million project throughout this summer, and that's the Federal Street Plaza. And so downtown is going to be tore up. There's going to be a lot of work going on, but the work it's going to be a great investment in the future. So this next week, the contractors are going to be starting here between Union and Court, and they're going to be tearing the sidewalk up, and then they're going to start digging down to those rock walls. And so in the Commodore lot, you see these hash lines, as well as the other sunken lots. There's going to be areas where we can't park, so the number of parking spots are going to be reduced, but that's for safety issues.
Jake,
Federal Street. Oh, go ahead, Dan.
We can see your cursor, but it's fairly small. Don't know if you have a control. We can see it. We just have it's in there.
Okay, thank you, Dan.
Yeah.
Federal Street Plaza. For those who haven't seen it, here's what the Federal Street Plaza is going to look like. We've got a water feature. We have the bike hub that's going on. The transportation building is getting some updates. We're going to be moving the museum into the transportation building from downstairs City Hall. And then Second Street is going to have some bump outs. So what we're doing is we're trying to narrow that down and make that crossing there at Second Street a little narrower and easier for people to walk across. That also helps to slow down traffic, which is something that everybody wants to do downtown. So business owners as well as the city want to see traffic slow down, be safer, stay a while. The whole goal of the Federal Street Plaza is to give the city this downtown living room feel. And so this is a major investment in downtown. When we're into construction on the Federal Street Plaza, the Tony's lot is going to become the laydown yard site for that. And so currently we don't have any plans post the Federal Street Plaza for the Tony's lot, but when Federal Street Plaza starts to wrap up, we will be looking for what that future development will be on the Tony's lot. Here is the schedule. The bids are out right now. We get the bids in next week. Permitting is complete. Designs are complete. We have at least 3 interested bidders, which is great. So we've got some competition for the Federal Street Plaza. We see award happening early April. And the city goal right now is to have the Federal Street Plaza open by Halloween for a big Halloween celebration. We will see what that looks like when they start construction and who gets chosen, but right now that's the goal. And is there any questions so far? Because I'm going to be jumping around from a lot of different things, and it'll be hard to hold all the questions.
This is really, really nice to see this moving forward, Jake. I should have asked you earlier if you like to take questions during the presentation or people hold until afterward, whatever your call.
Yeah, if there's no questions, I'll keep going on.
I do have a question.
Oh, yes, Philip.
I know there have been lots of discussions around the issue of homeless people on the plaza, and I can't remember where those discussions ended up.
In my conversations with the city manager, the plaza is not considered a right-of-way, and so we can make it illegal for any camping on the plaza, which there will be signage up that stops any camping. And then when the plaza is complete, we will have the police department making sure that the plaza does not become a homeless encampment.
Great. Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions?
I don't see any in the chat box I'm watching.
All right, next we'll go on to Brownfields. Brownfields, this is the second grant that the city has had on the Brownfield program. In 2023, we applied, Dan applied for a grant and received a $500,000 EPA Brownfield community-wide assessment. You apply in 2023, and we finally got a contractor selected in March of 25. And we started doing assessments in April of 2025. So we've had getting close to a year of assessments complete. The grant, our goals throughout the 4-year program is to do 12 phase 1 assessments, 12 phase 2 assessments, as well as hosting community meetings, creating some community specific plans. And we are well on our way because there was such a gap there of about a year. So far, we've completed 7 of the 12 phase 1 assessments that we set out to do. So we've been looking at, we've done the Gloria Center, the Tony's Building, 515 East 2nd, the Opera House. Ty Valley Disposal Site is technically outside city limits, but it was a hanger-on from the previous assessment grant. And then we've also moved into the phase 2 assessments for a lot of these projects. So the difference is your phase 1 assessment is a overview that's a paper exercise looking into the history to see what the environmental issues could be. Your phase 2 assessments goes out and actually does some drilling. If there's potential for a tank, they'll go and try to pull the tank so that we can get underneath it to see if there's been any leaks into the soil. And then we're also can do regulated building material surveys. So we've done 6 of the 12 on that. We're well ahead of schedule in terms of the number of assessments based on it. We've spent about $170,000 of the $500,000. So if anybody has any projects on commercial property, in order to sell anything downtown, pretty much you need to do a phase 1 and phase 2 assessment. The bank is going to require it in most instances. And so we are here to help. We've got the money to help, and it'll save you upwards of $20,000 if you have to do a phase 1 and phase 2 assessment. So please help spread the word on this program. We're really excited about the work that's been accomplished. And we're moving along quickly. So
Jake, that applies also to things like asbestos in buildings.
Yes, so that's your regulated building material survey. And so we can go in and do a review of your asbestos and see what else could need to get pulled out.
And if you have a major cost associated with it, like a leakage into the soil, things like that, then there are some funds available to help with that as well.
Yes, primarily if it's a major release, you'd end up going through another EPA program for the cleanup, but we can help make sure that you get through that program as well. So on urban renewal, we have 2 major programs that we're running right now. The incentive program, and you can go on the urban renewal website to get a review of both of these. And that program has been morphed over the years. And right now, if you're downtown in the urban rural area, we can do a 50-50 grant for up to $300,000. So if you put $300,000 into a project, we can put up to $300,000 as well. On top of that, if you're creating new residential units, we can pay up to $10,000 per unit for the SDCs, which is a huge benefit. And then The problem we have downtown right now is a lot of people are holding on to their cash because of the economic conditions. And so people haven't really been using the program as much as I'd hoped, and since we've had it updated since July of 25. So what we did this last urban renewal meeting, we've come up with the new exterior refresh pilot project, and this is my idea of the marketing on how we get more people interested in the commercial incentive program. And so what we will do is we can, on a really simple application, we can provide up to $7,500 per building. And so like if you have multiple businesses in the building, it's really just per building, per tax lot, and there's no match required. So what you do is you provide to me a contractor's estimate for doing your minor cleanup. You know, downtown we have a lot of buildings and a lot of facades that need a little bit of help. They don't need to be completely tore down, but they've got bricks that are missing. They've got cracking in the concrete. There's a lot with wood that needs some work on it. And so what you can do is come forward, put in an application, and we can start getting the downtown spruce stuff. And we've had a whole lot of interest in this in a very short amount of time. I've got upwards of 18 different building owners who are interested in joining in on this program. Some of the things that it doesn't, like you can't pay to get your windows replaced. You can't pay to put a new awning on. You know, so any of your more major projects, the whole idea is that makes you come over and use the incentive program for doing like a full facade replacement. But either way, it's a great investment in downtown. It's I think it's going to go a long ways to making downtown look really beautiful this spring.
That is a fantastic idea, Jake. Good work getting that through.
Yeah. Any questions on any of these programs?
Hey, I have a quick question, Jacob. How does a lot of this get funded? Just the back history, if you don't mind.
So how this is funded is this is the urban renewal, the Columbia Gateway Urban Renewal Agency, which is funded by tax increment financing. So it started, I believe, in 1990. And so the idea is to reduce blight, to invest in the downtown. And so how tax increment financing works is it freezes from 1990 the taxes downtown so that the juniors will continue to get that money. And then as you move forward, that tax increment goes into the Urban Renewal Agency to help spur and fix up the downtown. So there's been a lot of things that have happened downtown that have been some major investments. The Civic is still here because of the Urban Renewal Program. If you look at all the old rec building, Urban Renewal bought that. Worked with the new owner to rebuild the rec building, the Granada, Basalt Commons, like a lot throughout that course of time, a lot of downtown would have been hollowed out if it were not for the Urban Renewal Agency and the programs that they've been able to put on over the years. The agency sunsets, or at least the income stream sunsets in 2029 when we reach the total allowable use for the tax increment financing. And then we can continue to spend the dollars in the program so long as that those dollars are associated with projects after that. So between now and the end of the program, I'll have between $4 and $7 million to invest in downtown. And the difference between that, it comes down to a couple of large projects. First Street, if First Street comes in under the engineer's estimate, we'll have more money to invest in downtown. And then whether or not Basalt Commons moves forward as a project, we'll have a lot of money that we can continue to invest in the incentive program, the exterior refresh pilot program, and other projects that Urban Renewal is looking at currently.
Thank you. That's very informational.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
I'm not seeing any, Jake.
All right. So other economic development and urban renewal updates. Basalt Commons, as I just mentioned, for those who don't know, Basalt Commons is a 117 unit apartment complex that's been proposed to be built downtown since about 2017, 2018. And as you know, doing large scale projects downtown can be quite a lift. All of the stars have to align, and we've had some great updates. The urban renewal program is going to invest about $730,000 of urban renewal monies into it through one side of the house, and then the other side through the incentive program is looking at $1 million for the SDC repayment. And so that's money that'll go from urban renewal straight to parks. It'll go to the city. And so that's just, it's money that's moving around that helps get this project and make it financially feasible. The Basalt Commons recently received their BOLI determination. So this is the Oregon Bureau of Labor and Industries, to make sure that they don't have to pay prevailing wage on the project, which helps keep that project cost down. Right now, they're going through the process to make sure that the bank is willing to lend the total amount of money, and then they're looking. There's a deal with the county, and then they have to get the bids from the contractors. The city just finalized our building permit for the project, and so when I say building permit, it's not what most of us think of a building permit. It's really like a site plan permit. The building permit now goes to Wasco County for their review, and so permitting is very close to being completed. And so long as the rest of the stars align in terms of the construction costs and the bank loan, hopefully they'll be going into construction around July. And that'll be the first thing built downtown, I believe, since the River Tap, newest building. There's a lot of it's difficult to build like large scale apartments in areas where it hasn't been done recently. And so it takes a long time to get through the process with the banks because they have to do a full due diligence. 117 units downtown is a lot of units.
Jake, we have a question from Tanya.
Yes, Tanya.
Hey, Jake. Yeah, a question for you. I've read a lot, granted it's been on Facebook, but a lot of people are concerned about parking with that project. So can you expand kind of how is the city addressing the parking, or do you guys foresee a parking issue with that project?
Oh, do I really want to talk about parking downtown? Well,
Sorry, did I open a can
as
of
long
worms?
as this stays off of Facebook, and don't believe everything you see on Facebook.
That's why I'm
So,
asking you.
so Basalt Commons will have parking, a number of parking spots on the location. The city is also investing in parking downtown. Kitty corner to the Basalt Commons project. Urban Renewal is going to be paying for that parking lot to be rebuilt and redone. So that'll increase parking. So then what we'll really have is that's on the east side of town. We'll have a parking lot on the east side of the town. We've completed the parking lot along 2nd Street on the west side of town. And then we have the 1st Street parking lots as well. Contrary to what Facebook believes, we've done a parking analysis, and the Dalles does not have a parking problem like Hood River or Portland or many other areas. There is adequate parking. I think from my 9 months that I've been here, what there is there's a belief from the constituency and the Dalles that I should be able to park right in front of the business I want to go into. And well, that's great. And who doesn't want to be able to not have to walk a block? The reality when it comes to parking is you should have to walk a block or two to go to the place that you want to go to, because having you downtown, walking downtown is both good for your health, but it's also great for those other businesses that you're going to walk by and hopefully walk in. It's also great to make sure that downtown feels like it's lived in and there's people and there's people around. What I like to say is if you can park it right in front of the business you want to go in, that business is likely not making any money. And our goal is to make sure that the downtown is vibrant and is successful. And so If we had a parking problem, I would say that that's the best problem to have because that means people are making money downtown.
Jacob, oh man, had the same conversations when I was there, and the whole goal being 24/7 downtown occupancy, Basalt Commons, upper story residential, and some of the other buildings along Second Street. Anything we can do to increase that vibrancy. That's been a driving factor in this. So, right on.
And the other thing is, when we finish First Street, there'll be a bunch of parking that's available at First Street, as well as those parking lots that a lot of people don't like to park in right now. That Urban Renewal recently paid to pave our sunken parking lots. And so we're going to have a fair number of parking spots that are, just behind First Street that's easy to walk to, and that's going to look really good. And so I think more people will be willing to park in those First Street parking lots as well. Any other questions on Basalt Commons?
Jake, the 6-month extension bullet point. When did
Oh.
that?
Yeah, so Urban Renewal just expanded the Basalt Commons incentive program for another 6 months at our most recent meeting. And the reason is it's going to take some time for them to enter into construction. And for us to spend the money, I wanted the extension to last long enough that I wouldn't have to do another one. And so we will know within likely the next 3 months whether the project is moving forward. And then, and if it's not moving forward, then Urban Renewal has a pivot. We're having a lot of internal discussions, and we've got a workshop coming up about what that pivot would look like and what other large projects we can invest in before the agency sunsets.
Okay, that's good. Thank you, Jake.
So another large project that I've undertaken is I applied for some interns through Lewis and Clark College, and there was a whole lot of businesses that wanted them, not a whole lot of interns, but I was able to scoop up 2 of them. They're both economics students. And so one of the students, Evan Stover, I have working on a downtown market analysis and a retail mix strategy. So what he is doing is he's going through all of downtown to figure out what the vacancy rates are, what businesses we have. He's looking at our downtown versus other cities of our size to see is there anything we're missing and what can we do to try to diversify our downtown retail as well as bring people in and make sure that downtown remains vibrant. So far, what he's found is we don't have enough entertainment downtown. And so that's going to be a massive part of what that strategy will look like. And it's great having him on board. He just gave an update to Urban Renewal about what he's working on. He's also going to be able to tell us how many square foot of vacancy we have downtown and how that compares to other cities. So how we're comparing to the other businesses. Another intern that I was able to bring on is Jasmine Contreras. And I originally brought her on. She's a Hood River, grew up in Hood River. And I brought her on to do a marketing plan for the Columbia Gorge Regional Airport. As everyone knows, the airport is half owned by the city. It's half owned by Klickitat County. The city and the county have invested a lot of money in the airport. We have a business park over there that has water, sewer, and electric set up. It's flat, it's shovel ready, and we want to get development to occur on the airport. We have more land currently available to develop at the airport than I believe the port has here. And so we need that marketing plan. And so she's working on that. And then through the course of my interview with her, we talked a little bit about Latino businesses and Latino outreach. And so she's taken on another project that she's going to be doing some surveys and reviews of the Latino businesses here in the Dalles and seeing what we can do to bring them better into the fold, both for city services, urban renewal, and making sure they have a voice at the table.
Wow.
So
great resource, Jake. Go ahead.
I'm really excited. I only have so many hours in the day, and there's more projects than I have time. And so having some interns taking on projects just pushes us ahead leaps and bounds. And so I'm really excited for the students, and I'm really excited to see the reports that they come out with. So if you as a business owner here, either of them around the area, they're walking around downtown, getting to know people, taking surveys. So make sure they feel warm and appreciated and welcome. So another project we have coming along is the University of Oregon Sustainable City Year project. And this was Joshua, our community development director, came to me with, hey, there's this program, other cities are involved. Is this something we'd want to do? We were going to have a rare student that was going to work on a lot of these little projects, and then the rare program kind of got deleted. And so what we did is we put in an application to the U of O for a whole bunch of projects, and they came back to us with, we would love to work with the Dalles. And so what this can do is take what we're doing with the interns and kick it into overdrive, because rather than just having 2 students, we'd have entire classes working on projects. And so we submitted projects in economic development, community development, transportation, historic properties. There's projects that hit the whole gamut of moving things forward here at the city. And I can go out and I can hire a consulting firm to do this, or I can work with these students in the U of O and their professors and do it for less than a third of the cost. And so what we're doing here is we're stretching the dollars. We're moving the city forward. We're trying to do, we're looking at this holistically, because not only do we get to have a student in business, but we can also have an architecture student and students from interdisciplinary, all working on these projects. And so one of the things that I know the chamber had submitted for last year was to come up with a tourism strategy, and they didn't get that grant. So we put in, and we're going to have the students hopefully working on a tourism strategy for the Dalles. Also looking at downtown revitalization concepts for downtown, as well as looking at how do we activate the new plaza. We're putting $5 million into this plaza. What we want to do is activate this in the best way possible to make sure that the plaza is a success. We want to bring people downtown, and we want people that are going to the plaza to have something to do, not just sit there. Well, I'm also really interested in the business retention and expansion program. Some of our sister cities like Pendleton have been using urban renewal dollars to really help their businesses expand as well as stay. And so using the students to do kind of the same thing that Evan is working on to help me come up with a business retention and expansion program that we can put forward to City Council and to the Urban Renewal Board, so that we can take what's left in the available dollars and not just invest in the buildings, because that's what we've done for 25 years of the program. We've invested in the buildings. Now we're talking about, well, how do we invest in the businesses as well, so that we can make sure that when the program is over, downtown not only looks beautiful, but it also is the best chance for success moving into the future. And another one of the small projects is the Rockfort Heritage Activation Project. Most of you know Rockfort is along the Columbia River. There's a little trail that goes out there, but not a whole lot else. And so part of the question is how do we activate this? How do we make this a destination? And how do we do it that aligns with the cultural and historic properties of the site, but also make sure that people realize the really amazing things that we have here. And that's just a few of the projects. There's a whole lot of other projects. Any questions on any of that?
Hey, Jake, I have a question real quick. When you said the student had mentioned we don't have enough entertainment downtown, what is their definition of entertainment?
I believe they're looking at all sorts of entertainment, both for children, adults, and he's only primarily hit 2nd Street so far. He hasn't got to 4th Street, so he hasn't incorporated the Civic. But when you look at and he's trying to look at this from his generation as well, about what is the entertainment that people want to do now. The Dalles doesn't even have a movie theater anymore. Like, what are the things that are going to bring people downtown? We don't have a bowling alley. We don't have a theater. We don't have a roller skating or ice skating rink. What are the things that get people out of the house, away from their phone, away from their TV, and bring people out?
Great, thanks.
Julie.
Jake, I'm asking about the chapel now because it doesn't contribute to the tax base, being a nonprofit. It's still a 501c3. So you mentioned the civic being an historic project. Would that include the chapel? That kind of building?
So most of the dollars that urban renewal invests in, when we invested in the civic, it was to reduce blight. And so that we spent about $1 million helping rebuild the civic. And so you can invest money in nonprofits. The problem that we have is that there's kind of a dual role for urban renewal. Part of it is reducing blight, but the other major part of it is to increase the tax base. So urban renewal invested in the Elks building over here. We bought the Elks building, and then when we ended up selling it, it went to a nonprofit. So it's not going towards the tax base. And so that is something that the Urban Renewal Board has to weigh very heavily in terms of the whole purpose of, we froze the taxes, and the whole point of when you sell tax increment financing is the goal is to increase the tax base when it's over, right? And so if you're investing in things that are nonprofits, are you really increasing the tax base at the end? And so the Urban Renewal Board has to weigh that, because if you're reducing blight, you're floating all the boats. If you're doing projects on nonprofits that aren't going to increase or reduce blight, there has to be that public benefit analysis that's done. That's, I think, internal to everyone. But that is part of the conversations that we're having at the workshop about where the investments are going to go and what we could open up for investments. So I don't have a good answer for the chapel right now, but it's definitely part of that conversation.
Okay, I'm trying to get the facade fixed. I mean, it's really deteriorated, and we're doing a lot of acting as a venue for events. So I'm just arguing to get us in there somehow. Keeps in mind.
If it is within the Urban Renewal District bounds, you are still eligible for the $7,500 refresh, and you should still be eligible for the incentive program.
I came to talk to you, and the chapel's cut out.
Oh,
of the
it was
urban renewal.
right.
Remember that?
Yeah. Okay. Yes, you were right outside of it.
Right, and it goes around and includes the city park.
Yes, I remember. So sadly, I don't have any urban renewal dollars if you're right outside it. Thanks. I'm sorry, I forgot about our meeting.
Yeah, changing that boundary, Julie, would be that almost needs to await for a new urban renewal district after 2029, and that's a big, heavy discussion that would need to occur. Are you looking at SHPO?
Yeah,
any other state sources?
Right, they don't want to do facades, so I'm maybe going to try to get the bell tower renovated or something. Anyway, we've got to get it to looking better and to not deteriorate anymore. It's not in very good shape. Thanks, Jake.
You're welcome. And so here you go. Here's the picture from the office this morning for those of you who missed it. It was a beautiful morning, and we've got our flying service neon sign that's still there. And if you guys have any questions, I'm happy to talk about any other economic development or your thoughts, directions you'd like to see us go that I can take back to the board. I can tell you it's really busy here at the city these days with economic development.
Jake, do you have a date for that workshop?
That is our next regular meeting, and that is March. That's the 3rd. Let me pull up my calendar.
17th, March 17th? Or no,
the 3rd Tuesday, the 17th at 5:30. Yep.
That's going to be a very important workshop. That's good to know that's coming up. So this is timely presentation. Jake, just really impressed, astonished at all of the things that you've been accomplishing in a very short time. And the fact that you're probably pulling in at 5 o'clock in the morning, my goodness, Jake, I hope you're not burning yourself out there. I mean, just getting that sunrise shot there.
Well, luckily the sunrise is a little later than it was a little while ago.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I can tell you, you know, when I went from being a county commissioner to working at the Dalles, the Dalles has so many amazing opportunities. It feels like it's right on the cusp. There's so many great things going on downtown. You see the list of events that we have going with the Hoot this weekend, Cherry Festival coming up. The Dalles has a lot of really amazing people and individuals in it. And City Hall is amazingly well ran. It's nice to be in a place where there's no toxicity within the organization. Dan laid such a great foundation for me to easily knock it out of the park with economic development, with all the work that he's done. And I think the city, with having a lot of money available to invest downtown, it's going to go a long way between here and the end of 2029. You can also see in the picture right here, I'm looking at the awning at the bottom of this building, and that's one of the first things that I want to get fixed is I want to get that awning replaced. I want downtown to be looking like it's where every person in the community wants to go. We talk a lot about visitation. We talk a lot about how we get visitors here. And with almost 16,000 people in the Dalles, what I care about is if our people that live here want to be downtown, other people will too. And so let's make downtown warm and welcoming to our own residents so other people want to be here. And I think if we do that, we'll be successful all the way through. And if we stay off of Facebook and the negativity on there, it goes a long ways.
Jake, you mentioned some of the projects earlier, but the Union Street undercrossing, the cruise ship dock, Second Street reconstruction, all were early projects. The Commodore directly across. I wish we had better photos of the Commodore before urban renewal. It was a big, vacant, blackened hulk full of pigeons. It had been vacant for years, and just this huge empty building right there. And that was an urban renewal project. And those were things that really started the agency going around that issue of addressing blight, downtown blight. Because back in 1990, we were there, folks, and we no longer are. And just continuing along this pathway and doing so many other things, Jake, accomplishing so much just in the past less than a year that you've been there. Good work. Other questions for Jake this morning? Julie?
Jake, I have a question.
Yes.
This is
Corliss, go ahead.
What is First Street going to look like? I mean, I hear streetscape, but what is that? What does that mean? And I hear you said there is going to be parking spaces. So it's going to be a street?
So it's going to have parking along one side. It's going to have a bike lane. It's going to have trees, much like how Second Street will hopefully have successful trees in a few years. The sidewalks are currently like you don't want to walk on the sidewalks. It was getting so bad they were literally hanging over nothingness. It's gonna the piping in the ground, some of that is 100 years old that's going to get replaced. So we're investing in the future of all of the downtown. So between all of that, if you go online, I believe I will see if I stop sharing. I can figure out how to stop sharing now. I can provide the link to the downtown revitalization. Just give me a second. And so this will give everyone the link to the projects that has more information on it.
You
And
got that
then,
in the chat box there, Jake.
yep, it's in the chat box. And then I'll also put on urban renewal.
And while we're doing that, Julie, you also have a question.
Yeah. How will closing the underpass, the First Street underpass, affect the cruise ships?
So that is what we've been having to play with because of the interceptor project there along First Street. In order, right now there's no cruise ships, but when the cruise ships start back up, you can't have both of them closed at the same time. And so they'll have to come down, turn around there in the park to then pick the people up and take the cruise ship passengers out to the west along First Street when it's closed down when we're working in that little area. Right now, at the beginning of the year, they'll have to go in from this side while the other side's closed down, pick the passengers up and come out this way.
Jake, are you screen sharing right now with something different?
Am I screen sharing? Oh, there we go. Stop share. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
I
should have
put both of the urban renewal as well as the revitalization in the chat box for anybody who wants more information. Because there's lot of information out there.
Indeed, there is. Other questions for Jake? Great presentation, Jake.
Julie, did you have your hand raised?
Julie,
I
you're
did,
muted.
but you answered my question about the cruise ships.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking about Fort Dalles Museum and the way the buses take the passengers around and to what extent that would be affected. What will be the period that's happening?
I don't know when the dates are going to be. A lot of that is going to be based on the two contractors working together for when one's closed and the other one's not. And I'm not in those conversations.
Okay. But the project will be starting soon?
So the Interceptor project is going on right now on First Street, and that's why you see all those closed. And then the First Street project is in construction right now. We're tearing up sidewalks next week. We're just not working through that Union Street underpass area until the Interceptor project opens up.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, so there will be no time where you can't get to the park, is the plan.
Jake, what is the Interceptor project?
They are working along First Street out at the other underpass coming to the east along First Street, and it is a large size increase of the sewer system under there. They're replacing a whole bunch of the sewer pipes and then redoing the road. Yeah, and the great thing is our large projects have been coming in under engineers' estimates. There's a lot of competition out there right now for dirt work and road work. And so the bid on the First Street project came in well over $1 million under bid. Which is great because if anybody knows the history of First Street, you know there's a whole lot of archaeological resources along that area. And so I'm still budgeting for the full amount because if we hit one archaeological artifact or one issue, the price could go through the roof really quick. And so at least we have a really good cushion on our First Street project right now. And anything I don't spend on archaeological, we'll be able to spend on downtown and sprucing up downtown.
Jake, you mentioned the sidewalk issue down there. I've been looking through my files. Of course, I can't find it right now, but if you walk along, go down and look at that sidewalk, you'll see that it is in fact hollow. The sidewalk is hanging out there on concrete piers, metal reinforced, iron reinforced, that are rusting and expanding and breaking the piers apart. And it's just literally a shelf. That sidewalk is just floating out there. Put a car on that thing, it would go through. So it's a safety issue, and this is one of the many things that will be resolved through the First Street project. We've got about 5 minutes left. Other questions for Jake? We've had a couple of late arrivals here, so I want to be sure that we give them time for any organizational updates. not, fantastic presentation, Jake. Again, on short notice, we had a vacancy for this week's schedule, and you stepped forward, offered to do that, and put that slide deck together. Thank you very much for taking the time on this and for everything you're doing. I'm going to turn this over to Salvador Torres. Salvador from Housing Authority. Do you have any updates? Salvador, are you there?
There we go.
There you are.
Okay. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay.
My computer and then the camera that I have were not connecting, but finally. No, yeah, so we don't really have any more updates other than we're currently still working on getting the home repair program up and running. Right now we have finally sent out all of the intakes to all the people that were on the wait list. So now we're moving forward finally. Now it's just getting people approved so that we can basically see whom it is that we can help first. We are wanting to get this done hopefully within the next week or so to really get everything flooding really quickly. We need to get rid of some funding as soon as possible. Besides that, really, Mariposa Village is still moving along. We do have, and I will actually put it in the chat. Anybody who is interested in wanting to send out to anybody, there is an email that we have that people can actually start getting information in regards to Mariposa Village. So just in case of let's say, for example, if they want to be on the wait list or they want to see, because we currently still don't know how we're going to pull for that. We don't know if it's going to be lottery. We don't know if it's going to be first come, first serve. So it's more of a matter of putting your name on a list of interest.
Salvador, could you describe that project a little bit more background?
Yeah, the Mariposa Village is the one that is currently behind Ixtapa and Hood River. It's that multi-complex apartment that is being built right now. That is the one that I'm referring to. We're still currently working on the one here in the Dalles that's going to be over there behind Home Depot. That one's still in the works, but it sounds like it could potentially be moving along.
That's the one at the old Westgate Market site.
Yes, correct.
Great. How many units? 70?
So for the one in Hood River, I want to say it's 115 units.
How about Westgate?
120 units. I want to say 37. It's a weird number. 37 of them are going to be allocated to Section 8 clients. Then the rest will be open up for the public.
How about capacity on the Westgate Market site?
That one's going to be anywhere between 70 to 80, depending on the format that they go with.
Okay. Keep us posted.
I put the link in the chat if for anybody who is asking you in regards to that, the Hood River one, they can email that email to show that they're interested in potentially being able to rent in that location.
All right. Thank you, Salvador. And then finally, we've been joined by an old friend, community booster, one of the most amazing people in town, David Griffith. David, I see you on there. Would you like to tell us what you've been up to lately? How you doing? I don't know if you've got your mic on or not. If not, David, I see you showing up there. David, you are muted. There you go.
Thank you very much. But I'm delighted to see what's going on. I think I'm glad I stumbled into this thing. I had trouble getting it open, but yet, absolutely kudos to all involved.
David, please feel free to join in any old time. It's good to see you.
Thank you.
Right. With that one, we are at the top of the hour, folks. Appreciate Jake being our guest this morning, all of you for participating. These updates, be sure to check the chamber site for upcoming events like the book sale we have at the library on March 14th. There's a lot of other cool stuff in there. And our guest next week will be Rob Garrett from Mid-Columbia Senior Center. So find out what's going on over there. Lots of things. As always, with that, I'm going to close it down for today and wish you a fantastic rest of your Thursday, Friday, and weekend coming up. And let's keep rolling into 2026. Signing off, everyone. Thank you.